But you have five full support.
Okay, we all live?
Neighbors.
We all live?
29th. Now we just use the 29th Street bulkhead though,
Yes, so you're part of.
but
that
New
too.
Town Freak Alliance, yeah.
Like, I'm-
Well, I don't, it's hard to tell if it's on, there's a light, but. Yes, it's really from.
Press it and then you'll.
Hold it.
Yes. And then it should be.
Okay, there we go, okay, okay, Cory, help me out here. It says disabled, this is, yeah. See there, that's it. And it tells me to go to more here. We are live,
Alright,
says YouTube on the top. It's showing me different thing, but we have a different.
Why don't you just require that people sign in and you have to approve them
so
to sign in? That's simple, really.
Thank you for your suggestion.
okay. And then are we,
You could do it in the meeting. Mary Ann could be doing it while we're having the meeting if new people are coming in. You know, a lot of times you have to be approved or set.
the live stream tonight's meeting?
Okay, I'm gonna give Randy, he just came in co-host.
Hello,
Hi,
Randy.
Randy.
How are you?
Really.
Good evening, everyone.
Ms. Rose.
Who?
Instruction. Randy, do you have any presentation or?
I don't have a presentation. I just have a statement, some points that I'd like to share.
You didn't bring a beautiful picture of that street with all the drawings?
Did
Oh
you
God.
have an opportunity to see that?
Ross is there.
I was there when they had the ribbon cutting.
Yes, oh, that's right. That's right. You were there. That's right. Oh my
I
goodness.
even got a piece of
Like-
the ribbon, but I think I recycled it.
No, we actually got a lot of coverage. I saw a video on
Hey,
NBC.
Randy, I gave you co-host. I don't see this.
It was gorgeous and that, what's her name, Fernanda, or what was it?
Yes, Fernanda Contreras was the artist.
Let's see if you could find it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was so exciting to have her
The mouse.
do a statement and say how a little bit of her is left.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Then.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed the ceremony. It was fun.
Yeah. I have a pen.
So we're gonna live stream to YouTube.
No, it's live. It's live. We're already live.
Good. Just pretend.
Somebody's first.
Thanks, yeah, I'll get those.
Good evening, everybody. We're getting the Zoom up to speed. So give us just a minute.
We're already live streamed for our transportation committee meeting.
We are live on YouTube right now.
Where did you go for that, Randy?
I clicked post tools here. The screenshot that Anatole sent in looks different from what we have.
Correct.
So I was searching for it. Anyone see anything that says annotation?
No, we don't.
No, we can.
I just checked everything already.
Alright, we can look it up for the next. That's up to them. Yeah.
We don't control, we don't control.
Whiteboard.
What about the three dots? Or not? The three dots.
He's in the three dots. This is the menu he's going
Oh,
through.
your menu's
The
on
three
top.
dots.
Okay, let me change. the-
Apps collaboration, would that be? Well, let's see.
Only the hosts, board owners and editors can facilitate whiteboard.
Well, that's for whiteboard stuff.
Yeah, maybe they disabled annotations in the new update. I don't know. I don't see anything about annotations.
So I just turned those off under host tools.
Alright, cool.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, no, we're not gonna do that. Alright, I think we're good then. You want me to
So, you mean Randy, as the host, you were able to turn it, you were
As a
able,
co-host.
Oh,
yeah, well, as a co-host, but that would. allow-
Yeah, there's a button that says host tools. So I turned off share Zoom docs, share whiteboard, share notes, collaborate with Zoom apps, and set meeting timers.
Okay,
So we
great.
still let people chat, although we can quickly revoke that, rename themselves, unmute themselves, and start video.
Great, sounds great to me.
Is that a permanent change, Randy?
I believe it's just for
Only
this.
I create?
I believe it's just for this. Although last time Anatole and I looked at this, is that Zoom now does allow you to have presets in where you can create meetings with presets on it. So there might be just some time where we might need to just go in and create some of those presets so that when you create a meeting, that's just these settings are already here.
Great.
So should I hang on to the mouse to mute
Yes.
people? Okay.
yeah. So just keep an eye on that. If you see any keys that you don't recognize, maybe ask them.
Okay.
It's an open meeting for all, but
Yeah, but asking. to
Thanks,
use it.
live.
Yeah.
We're live. So everybody in the world.
All right, here we go.
All about it.
Hello, world.
Good evening to everybody and welcome to Queens Community Board 2. This is our Transportation Committee meeting. My name is Riley Owens. I am the chair. I am joined today by our CB2 Ops Manager, Debbie Markell Kleiner. and-
District manager.
District Manager, I'm so sorry. I don't
My
have your card.
assistant Marion. That's
And
okay.
Assistant Marianne Guerrero. Welcome, thank you. I am also joined by my esteemed committee members here and on Zoom. We are live on YouTube. And I see Manny here from LaGuardia Community College, welcome, and Mercedes from Senator Michael Generis's office, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Oh, and Steph McGraw.
Hello, how are you?
Valdez. Thank you, welcome. All right, great. Excellent. We are going to start with, should we do that now or? Yeah, we'll do it after. We'll start with public comment. If anybody's here for public comment, here we are. This is former committee chair Thomas Hussis.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, everyone. Thomas Hughes with the Blissville Civic Association. First, has any progress been made regarding our request to have the Borden Avenue roadbed converted to a park under New York City Park Walk to a Park initiative? Number one. Two, I'd like to publicly thank DOT for hosting Biketober in Blissville. We had Commissioner Edonis in Blissville. We conducted the ribbon cutting of the Blissville Greenway.
Yeah.
I will tell you, having Commissioner Edonis in Blissville was moving, but the most moving was hearing from the cyclists from Massford who traversed this roadbed for 40 years. Hearing him describe the Blissville Greenway as a godsend demonstrates the work that this committee had done fruitful and beneficial. So thank you, Transportation. Corey wants to report back that DEP has repaired the catch basin on the excellent roadbed. Fourth, the real reason I'm here today, the most important reason in my mind, I once again, unfortunately, must come before this committee asking your help to convince DOT that using green asphalt, a company that has now been pursuant to an agreement they signed, admitted to violating pollution laws, is a bad thing. The folks in Blissville and Greenpoint should not be breathing in contaminated air. DOT must find another provider. And I call upon this committee to convince DOT to do same. Council member Bressler across the creek has already contacted DOT commissioner saying, find a new company. And Mary Ann, here's your assignment. I need you to start raising funds because on December 11th, Green Asphalt must comply with a consent award that they signed, raising the smokestacks 90 feet, doing the emission testing. Stop poisoning us, essentially. by December 11th. Note, they haven't even filed for Department of Buildings permit to put up the smokestack yet. December 12th. I asked this committee to join the residents of Blissville. We are prepared to lock arms and lay down in the streets and prevent DOT from crossing into green asphalt. Mary Ann, start raising the funds for our bail. I am convinced they will not comply, and I need all of your help. LaGuardia Community College, bring over, come over. We need your help. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Tom. Have you seen DOT trucks there?
Yes.
Yeah,
There's 4 contracts worth multi-million dollars that they have awarded since, if I may, Chair.
you have
Since
evidence of that
receiving
contracts?
the memo back from the commissioner, Queens Commissioner, who said, oh yeah, Tom, it took 8 months, remember Debbie, for her to respond to our letter. She responded after the seasonal use of the facility was over. So guess what happened? Nothing. Because when the season started again, DOT started using them again. Bad. They must find another plan. And so I'm not even asking to shut down today. But I'm asking, they must comply by December 11th. If they don't, DOT better not be forcing into their entrance, or they're gonna have to come through us. We're laying down the streets. You're coming?
December 11th.
December 11th.
So we sent a formal letter to DOT from this committee.
We have sent a letter, when Tom was
Previously.
chair previously, and we got a letter back from, Queens Commissioner Garcia that, they would, if there was one word in it that was unsure to me, that they were committing to not using it. And then I have asked every month. our-
And they failed
our
to answer,
DOT
but I
rep
can
if
tell
they're
you,
using it.
Chair,
Julie,
the 4 contracts. Multi-million dollars they're giving these people.
Yeah.
and then Julie won.
I don't know what Julie Wan has committed to there.
Okay. And then probably also Claire.
Claire's going off.
Claire, has she done anything formal about it?
Yeah, well, yes, so Claire went on record. Claire attended the joint meeting we had between Greenpoint and Blissville,
A representative is on.
and she attended. Yes,
Steph McGraw,
that was,
from-
that was there.
Assemblymember Valdez's office, do you have any information about green asphalt and, what your office, what the assembly member is committed to?
Hi, I was having a little trouble hearing exactly what the question is specifically. I know that we are continuing to work with other elected offices on like figuring out next steps going forward. I actually am currently trying to respond to an email to get another meeting set up after the meeting that Tom just mentioned, the town hall. So but is there sorry, what was the specific question?
So you mentioned Lincoln Wrestler has gotten involved. What has Lincoln Wrestler done?
So Lincoln Wrestler has recently contacted the commissioner of GOT saying by December 11th, they have to comply with the consent board.
Okay.
If they don't comply by December 11th, you better not be using them on December 12th. Blissville stands with Councilmember Wrestler.
So I think the ask would be, can Claire's office send the same, messaging, right? So it's coming from both boroughs, from both districts.
Yeah, we are working with Councilmember Wrestler's office along with Assembly Member Gallagher's office and some others to put together like unified communications on what we're going to do. So that's all I can say for now. I don't want to like speak out of turn, but I know that we're working with them so that we can unify our message so it'll be stronger with all of us moving in one direction.
Great, and I think the only other ask right away would be, if the assembly member can commit to coming to this event on December 11th, maybe not December 12th, December 12th, maybe she could lay down the road, maybe she doesn't lay down the road, but I think her presence would be appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put that on her radar.
Awesome.
I think part of the focus really is getting them to commit to stop, DOT to stop using green asphalt. And if not now, at least by that time, if they haven't complied, right? If they've complied, I guess, right?
Well, they have to comply.
Huh?
There's many things they have to comply, raising the smokestacks, emission testing, There's this fluid thing, and they got fined $120,000.
Mhm. Well, but 25 they haven't paid, and the rest is perhaps forgiven.
It's being held hostage.
All right. Well, thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you. Well, just my first question, any progress on the park?
Oh, Tom,
Yes, ma'am.
you're talking about the end of Borden Ave?
Yes,
You missed the party last night or Sunday night.
I probably did.
Were you there?
No.
Ah. Well, I hope you are talking with.
Jill and I have
Jill,
connected.
yeah.
We've spoken at length. He supports what we're trying to do.
Well, tell him to ask you and invite you. I can't invite you.
Actually, I will say to you, Gil did say to me he was going to invite me.
Oh.
I have
I guess
Mercedes
one
with
minute.
her hand up. Maybe a question for you, Tom. Mercedes.
No, my question's not to Tom, so let him, you
Hi,
can finish that
Mercedes.
and then come to me. Hi, Tom.
All right. let me
Finish
just
everything
say
with
goodbye
him
to
and then
Tom.
come back to me, okay? Yep, sure.
Yeah, thank you. Tom, thank you. I
Thank
did
you.
get
I'm
to
sorry
ride-
if you could do your.
I did get to ride Review Avenue for the first time last week. It's magnificent. It's glorious.
It is
It's really,
Thank you to this committee.
it changes that part of the city.
You like all the trees?
All the
We do like
trees
them.
are amazing.
All right, be well, everyone.
Yeah, and Tom, we are going to take do a discussion and take a vote on the park.
Yes, if you need help with what the ask is, just let me know.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
Tom, why don't you
Tom,
state that before you leave, what the ask is? To
Yeah.
the committee, so.
So the
they go
ask
into
is-
discussion.
For a study to be conducted to determine if the roadbed at the end of Borden Avenue can be given up by DOT, handed over to Parks, and New York City Parks create a park at this location under New York City Parks Walk to a Park initiative. Blissville is part of the 15% of New Yorkers who are not within walking distance of a park. We would like to change that.
Perfect.
So, Tom, one more thing. Recently, Transportation Alternatives led a ride about a protected bike lane network in the neighborhood. I know Roz and I were there. Are you connected to them about that? I think it's very relevant to a lot
I'm
of your.
thinking of an email, but if you, Corey, send me what you want me to pay attention.
Can do.
I don't always pay attention to.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you,
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you. Be well.
Enjoy your night. Thank you. All right, excellent. Mercedes.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking me right now. It's more of just two updates that I think that has been impacting the constituents in CV2 because we've been getting a lot of calls concerning two matters. Just wanted to let you know that our office, the Center Engineers office, has been keeping tally of these things and also just letting you all are aware of two major topics with transportation. The first one is the Queens redesign. As you know, our office, along with, I think even Valdez has helped our office, along with Tamim and Raga. We helped reinstate quite a few bus stops, especially because we had a lot of disabled constituents contact our office. So we're continuing to still follow up throughout the implementation of the bus redesign and kind of just tracking like what's working, what's not working, just so our office can continue to be instrumental in that process. And if other stops have to be reinstated for that same reason, we're definitely want to let you know, please let constituents know to contact our office because we are staying on top of that. The second thing is OmniCards. The reason why I bring this up is because I've gotten a lot of calls from constituents, not only in CV2, but in other parts of the district and the Senate district concerning how OmniCards have been working in the past 3 months. Everybody believes that they're getting a transfer, even though the MTA says that you're supposed to get a transfer. People are still being charged when they're going from bus to bus or bus to train. So for example, you think you're only spending $290 when you take the bus and transferring, you're not actually getting a transfer. What's actually happening is that you have to spend $34 in the week and then the rest of the rides are free up to that Sunday. Problem with that is there's a lot of seniors as well as people who live on fixed incomes who don't always readily use public transportation, but need it on certain days. And because of that, they're end up paying more. So there's a big miscommunication between the company Omni, which is a private company that MTA has paid out to do the service. And as you know, the Metro card is retiring December 31st of 2025. So the only option would be Omni. I'm not sure. I'm still unclear as to whether there's still allow like change to be used on buses or trains. But as of right now, that's also up in the air. But for sure, the Metro card is being phased out. And because of that, our office is hoping to find some kind of resolution where Omni cards are honoring the way the MTA said that Omni cards are supposed to work. So just wanted to let everyone know that. And also, if you're hearing complaints, could you please let constituents know to contact our office? Because like I said, we've been working on tracking that and following up with the MTA and DOT about it. And I have, if anyone has questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I did speak to an MTA rep last month about it. There are supposed to be free transfers. That's what the website says, and that's what he said. He said that Omni does not tell you at the tap that you have a free transfer, but you should check your online trip history to see that you did get a free transfer. Like, it doesn't say free transfer, but your trip history should say it. Now, people may not be getting that, but that's from how it was before. It's not telling you have a free transfer.
And I think the issue becomes that there's a lot of people who are thinking they have the transfer, and drivers, especially buses, are refusing people to allow to get on the bus when they're supposed to have a transfer, and it's saying like card not accepted. So that's where the issue's coming. And a lot of seniors, as well as people with disabilities and others, have been denied access to that second ride when they're supposed to have a transfer. So that's where like some of the discrepancy is happening.
All right, and then, so they're getting denied a ride because they don't have preloaded money on it and they're not getting a transfer?
Right, exactly. So if, let's say if I just have to get home from an appointment, I have $290 on my Omni card, that means I should have a transfer. But because the way that the card is working, it's not honoring the transfer at the moment. Some drivers may deny me access to get on the second bus that I need to get home.
So I want to just say that MTA is the lifeblood of New York City. Omni is the currency of the MTA. So this is a major issue, and I hope that the entire state senate is working on this right now. Because if Omni is broken, then people can't get to where they're going, and they're getting double charged for things that they shouldn't. So I think this is a much bigger issue than just a few constituents in our district.
Right. That's why I'm raising it here at the transportation committee, because like I said, I've had quite a few calls, and I'm like, I think this is something, and even I've experienced this because I'm a rider, just like most New Yorkers. I take the buses and the trains, and I myself have a disability. So I know, like, for me, I have to pay, like, I've noticed I'm paying extra just to get to places because they're not honoring transfers on the Omni card. So there's a huge disconnect, and I'm hoping that we can try to fix that before the whole system becomes just Omni. I'm sorry, someone has their hand up. So
several hands up. There was an order that the hands went up, but I see an urgency in Roz. Do we
Well,
let Roz go?
I know the answer, and
Okay.
you're right when you talk about the disability thing or as a senior. So as a senior, I get half fare, but they don't let me use my card 2 times in a row. So if I'm taking my grandson, I got to get a different card for them, And so if their system is regarding this as 2 uses in a row, that's why they're refusing this transfer, I think. And that is a problem they should fix.
Okay, so you have experience with this happening.
Yeah, but not, I mean, it's not the purpose of the transfer, but it's you can't use your half fare card twice, with close proximity. You've got to.
I get it, like a 2 fare zone. So let's say you take the Q66 and you have to transfer to the 102, for example. You're having issues doing that with your card. Am I understanding you correctly, Roz?
Yes, I think so, Mercedes. I mean, the purpose, I mean, when I do it, it's because, I have my grandson, and how am I gonna get him?
Right, exactly.
So,
exactly.
2 times, and I think that probably is where the problem is.
Okay.
Genuine problem.
Yeah, Corey.
Well, so just, I wanna parse out a couple of things, 'cause I think we might be talking about slightly different, but I agree that in general, we're describing an issue with Omni, so just prefacing that, right? I think what you're describing, Roz, is actually the story as intended, which is they don't want you to be able to use your their Omni card for your grandson, right? So that's why when you try to tap twice at the same location, back to back, the second one doesn't work, which we can talk about whether that's good or bad, but I think that's different from what Mercedes is describing, which is that people are having issue at the transfer point, right? They've ridden one bus and they've gotten off and they're trying to get on another bus and they go to tap. And I heard you say it's like card not accepted.
Yes. Yeah. So let's say it's your last 290, for
Right.
example, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna have a transfer because I'm supposed to have a transfer, and that transfer is not being honored. It's saying like you just mentioned, like card not accepted.
So my gut says maybe what's happening is like for the tap, it just charges the money and then it checks to see if two charges were in a certain time period and then it like reimburses them or something. I don't know. And maybe that's why if people only have 290 left on their account, it can't do that charge, right? And if that's the case, something needs to be done to change it because there's no reason you shouldn't be able to ride with if it's a free transfer, right? So I think our best course of action is to formally ask the MTA to look into this specific problem, like find out why this can occur, right? Like what possible error could prevent someone from getting their free transfer on the Omni card, right? That's at least something that they can look into with the vendor and get back to us about like what's going on here, you know, because and I'm glad we confirmed, because I remember at the full board meeting, there was some worry that like maybe this was a new policy for the MTA. And at least I'm relieved that this isn't like a citywide policy going forward. It's a glitch, it's an error, right?
Right.
And I think we can ask them to look into this and fix it as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to bring those two situations up and just let everyone know, like, those are things that our office has been getting calls about and emails. So I just wanted to relay it and get the support of the community board so we can hopefully come to a resolution before January 1st, because like I said, the Metro card is retiring.
All right, thank you. Patricia has a question for you.
Sure. Hi, Patricia.
Did I hear correctly when you said that you have to spend X amount first before you get a transfer? Was that part of it?
Okay, so how it seems to work is when you go on Omni and let's say you fill money on your Omni card either through the app or through the machine. The way it was explained to me was Omni has the understanding, and again, this is why I think MTA and Omni needs to have another conversation about like how the Omni card is supposed to work, is that they anticipate people spending up to $34 a week, because after you spend $34, all your rides for the remainder of the week are free. So for example, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you use it 12 times. And then after that, all the way up to Sunday, you don't pay at all. So that's how they can see, quote unquote, the transfers. But if you want to, let's say, I need to go to the doctor today. I need to take the Q66 to the Q102, you know, and the only way I could do that is like pay $290 to get there, $290 back. You're going to need to pay more than that. You need to pay like $290, yeah, so you have to pay more than that because it's not accepting. Yeah, it's not saying transfer. It just says go, and it charge every time.
But if somebody's they've used all their money up by Wednesday, it shouldn't even be considered transfer. It's a totally separate thing that's going on.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Them and it's screwing up everything.
Yep, I agree 100%.
Another thing, I know it's probably hitting the seniors more. I know seniors that don't have computer skills. So there's no way that they're gonna be able to check I think that's a little much to ask people to go online and check what your balance is before you go out to go to the doctor. I think there needs to be some kind of real hard copy communication sent out. There must be some listing of the seniors who have gotten the half price card and do a whole explanation on that, and tell them exactly what is happening. And if you're gonna have to straighten it all out, let them know that. because they're gonna get all upset if they, go onto a bus and they're told they can't continue.
I agree 100%. So that's why I brought it to the committee's attention. And we're just, worried because like I said, we know that things are a lot more expensive now. And the last thing that needs to be expensive is city transportation to get where you need to go on your errands, whatever, work, doctor's appointments, like those things should not be like a worry for anybody. So we just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Thank you. And then Maya has a question.
Yeah, I have a question.
Hi, Maya, how are you?
Are you good? Thanks. I have a lady who comes to help me in the morning for 4 hours. And then she has to go to a different place. So her Omni card is finished by Thursday. She has 3 commutes per day.
Right.
And yes, she has to pay the next 3 days, even though it says for the whole week. She said she pays $34 for a whole week, but
Right.
it lasts 4 weeks. I mean, whole week.
Oh, that's the first time I've heard that one. So like I said, there's maybe a glitch going on. And like I said, I will let all the information that was given to me today, I'm gonna follow up with our contact at the MTA and let them know that this is continuing to happen in the district. And I'm hoping like with your support, and like I said, I'm also going to the other community boards that our office represents and letting them know the same issue. And hoping that maybe as we all band together as a team effort, we can resolve this. So by January 1, we won't have to deal with the kinks. Also, I forgot who just spoke. She gave a really good idea because like with the Metro cards, when you use it, you still see how much you have left on your card, like $2.50 left, $1, whatever. It'll be nice if something, instead of go, it should say like, oh, $2.75 left, something, just so people know how much money they have left. I think that's not an unreasonable request.
I agree.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I hope we get all the kinks worked out in the system. And like I said, it's more important than just this. I mean, the office will help, but there will be lawsuits if the city is overcharging or if the state is overcharging the users of the MTA. Not my lawsuit, but
Right.
Yeah, so everybody who's,
And it's election time.
exactly, yeah.
Well, that might be a trouble solution.
Okay.
But is there
But thank you,
anything
Mercedes.
you would think that this board, this committee should be doing or saying in regard, like along the lines?
Yeah, I think we'll talk later about maybe a resolution
Okay.
to have the MTA investigate and work out.
I was thinking, so certainly I think the top priority is glitches, right? Like find out what's happening. Why are constituents having these issues? And how can they be fixed? And I think the final point there though is a separate but also important ask, which is like, can they look into changing the system so that when you tap, it shows how much you have, right? That might not have been in the original scope for this work. And that might, make it complicated, but I think we should specify a second ask about that also. I think that would help address a lot of these issues and reassure people how much money the system thinks they have left, so they know what's going on.
Mercedes, can I ask you, do you, in your position, contact community people in the state senate assembly around the city to see that they're also having this problem, that they're
I mean, I definitely could. I mean, yes, I'm the community liaison for Senator Generis. So like, I know Valdez's rep is on here. So I've worked with her staff. I've worked with her before and I've worked with other assembly people. So I could follow up and ask if they're hearing the same thing.
Complaints, and I mean, if they have a class action against the MTA, that should be exciting.
Like a raffle,
I was in the 60s.
We'll get you laying down the street yet.
All right, thank you again, Mercedes. I'm going to
You're
ask.
welcome.
Public comment in this public comment period.
Am I public comment or new business?
Are you from the Guardian?
Yes, sorry, Claudia from the
We'll do
Guardian.
you right after public comment, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That
Let's,
sounds like a song title.
Oh,
yeah, and did you have any comments? No, okay, all right.
So before we go on to the agenda, I wanted to ask about, so last meeting, obviously we were Zoom bombed, I got bumped out. I didn't really get a chance to see the rest of the meeting. But that video hasn't been uploaded to YouTube yet.
Yes.
So can I ask like what the delay is, like when I can expect to see it and kind of catch up on what we missed?
Yeah, I didn't realize it wasn't up on YouTube. We didn't put it up because of the, but then we can't edit, but we did start a second link, so we could put it up from the second link. You just missed like Tom Matus's
Yeah.
beginning and a few of that, but we can put it up with the second.
We might
It has to be
also want to
clean.
investigate with either, Borough Hall or do it. I mean, the premise that we can't edit out pornographic stuff just makes no sense to me. And I don't see any reason that could.
Yeah, at least finding a procedure, right, like to salvage a meeting before it was
I
disrupted.
mean, no meeting, no business was being transacted during that period of time.
Yeah, it was very soon.
And you could have a gray
Start a
screen.
second link, so we can upload the second,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
no problem.
But I think also Russ, fine, like, also, like, after that, we can look into like, for future instances, right? How is it possible to edit, like, either covering up something, bad or whatever, right? Just, I'd be curious to see if this could happen again. I don't want, if it happened later in the meeting, right, we could lose like the whole meeting.
Agree?
Cool.
Right, thank you for your public comment.
Insider comment.
Why I came in person today.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry to everyone who's.
Thought you were gonna get a show, huh?
I'm surprised seeing all these naked people.
Me too.
No, it's not our office. I have made a note.
That I caught.
All right, great. So you may have noticed, we don't have our DOT rep Joe here tonight, so it's, we have some updates from the DOT, but we don't really have our opportunity to talk. But representatives from LaGuardia Community College are here, and I want to give you an opportunity to talk to us about something special.
Thanks.
Oh, so I'm Claudia, I'm the Deputy Director of Government Relations. So Manny will be speaking more, but we're here actually to formally, ask for your support for the renaming of 33rd Street Dawson. So Manny can speak more on it.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. First, I just want to go on the record and thank those of you from CB2 who joined us yesterday for the ribbon cutting of the Greenway and the wonderful mural that was created by Fernanda Contreras. We're hoping that you will join us for future events in the months to come. But as Claudia said, my name is Manny Romero. I'm the Vice President for Communications and External Affairs. And both of us are here with a request. We're here to request your support in the renaming of 33rd Street, Rawson Street on the 7 train subway stop to 33rd Street, LaGuardia Community College. As many of you know, LaGuardia Community College is an anchor institution in Western Queens. For over 50 years, we've probably served thousands of residents of Queens and beyond, offering more than 50 associate degree and certificate programs. Each year, over 25,000 students come through our doors. LaGuardia is recognized nationally as a model for student success, ranked 5th among U.S. community colleges for helping low-income individuals move into the middle class and beyond. A majority of our students rely on the 7 train to get to campus. Renaming the station would not only provide clarity for riders, but also instill a sense of pride in our students. This change would honor LaGuardia's legacy of educational excellence and its transformative impact on the Queens community. It would serve a lasting tribute to the college's enduring value and commitment to opportunity and equity. So with that, we would like to ask Community Board 2 for support in renaming the station to 33rd Street, LaGuardia Community College. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, thank you very much, Manny. Thank you for the ask. This was asked at last month's full board meeting as well. So we wanted to talk about it here. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, my first question is, who is Rawson and why is it named Rawson?
Just like Lowry and Bliss, Rawson was the old street name.
Just the name they came up with?
Well, the old name of the street.
Yeah, but who was the street named after?
Are you worried that the ghost of Rawson will come and,
I have many ghosts haunting me. Maybe Rawson was America's greatest person and we're stripping away the name. I would just like to do my due diligence and ask. Yeah, I was probably a landowner. Probably not. You know, I don't know. Do you?
I will,
I mean, research, I couldn't find out who Boston is, I could do some more digging, but that being said, there's not even a Boston Street around anymore for someone to find, right? You could find LaGuardia, if someone got off, oh, where's Rawson Street?
so Access Queens says
Yeah.
it's named after Moore and Rawson, a business during the 1800s. So,
A what?
a business. Moore and Rawson was
Moore
a
and
firm.
Rawson.
Yeah,
What was their business? Orphanages?
well, we'll find out, but,
And these are full names.
I think, 33rd Street, LaGuardia would be two names, yeah.
No, two names.
If you did LaGuardia and Rawson, I think it's a very long.
33rd Street, Rawson, LaGuardia Community College. There are lots of stations,
Yeah.
especially in Manhattan,
like Hunter
that have,
Yeah.
168th Street and then. But.
But that's only one name.
But
68th Street Hunters. Sorry. It wasn't pertinent to the question.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead, Patricia.
Never mind.
All right, thank you. What is your?
so personally, right, I'm in favor, Hunter College gets its own name on the subway, why shouldn't we get one, right? Or why shouldn't they get one? But I acknowledge, right, that there is some historical loss, you know. When I first moved to the area, I didn't know why 46 was called Bliss. And that led me to learn the history of the neighborhood, and find out, oh, all these streets used to have names and like they're preserved in the subway, so that makes me a little sad. But I think the gain to everything, Manny said, right, like emphasizing the importance of the community college. I didn't even know why the 7th grade stopped there. I was like, oh, no one's here, you know, there's a huge community college here, right? So I think on balance, I'm in
Well, it
favor.
used to be that all the streets didn't have names.
Yeah.
They had just 46th Street. And it became that they started naming all the streets, giving them double names on them. I don't see a problem with having 33rd Street, Rawson, LaGuardia Community College. It covers everything. And it can fit.
I will say, I'm not vehemently opposed to it, but it is kind of an issue on the Washington DC Metro that every station has like 5 names and it takes forever to read all of them, and it's just like.
But
well,
that's DC there.
yeah, but we're New York, you know, we got 33rd, that's it, you know, it's like, so, it's like, the brevity is nice too. But I'm not opposed to that either, I'm voicing, you know, different
Well,
thoughts.
that there is an issue of length, because on the electronic signs that they have, which is an accommodation for people with hearing problems and so on, if you have to have that great long 3-part name.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure, I mean, that part of the name's gonna be off the end of the screen before you get to the other part of it, so, I'm favorable to this change, simply as 33rd Street, LaGuardia Community College, because, I mean, I'm a huge fan of LaGuardia Community College.
Yeah, and maybe able to trick some tourists to visit the neighborhood when they're trying to get to the airport.
Is there a reason why they didn't want to include Rawson?
No, we're requesting for the name change.
I know, but is there a reason why they did not, why they wanted to drop the name Rawson?
Oh, I mean, we just wanted it after the comp. We wanted to stop the name after LaGuardia Community College.
So you, I think to her point,
Yeah.
you wouldn't necessarily be opposed to just appending it to the existing name. 33rd Street Rawson, the LaGuardia. Right, I this is just like in, you know, to her question, I think is like, would you be open to the longer name that maintains Rawson and also just adds LaGuardia Community College? Putting aside whether we all agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I'm just speaking for myself, you know, I see the point of leaving Rawson in the name, but just based on what I've seen throughout, you know, MTA, it's usually the street number plus one name. And I think someone had mentioned, you know, the brevity is something that I think the MTA, you know, really appreciates, especially when it comes to the multitude of signage and things that they do in order to inform people of the various stops along, you know, the different lines. And, you know, of course, you know, we've seen, you know, throughout Manhattan, And in Brooklyn, in Queens, that, many institutions, quite frankly, smaller than LaGuardia, actually have stops named after them. If you go to the stop where Hunter College is, there is signage there for Marymount Manhattan College. And, and that's a very small college, nothing against them. In fact, I used to work there. But for us, based on the significance, the connection with the Queens community, the history, and what LaGuardia stands for, we feel that it would be, an honor for that to happen. Excuse me, my lights have gone out. But we're just hopeful that if we would receive that support, for the LaGuardia name to be part of that, the name of that particular stop.
I don't think, I'm not suggesting that LaGuardia not be part. I'm just saying it should be part of the total name of the.
All right, so just a little bit of history. It used to be, and I see Steph McGraw with your hand up, give me 1 second. It used to just be 33rd Street, and then local residents wanted the historical names back. Pat Dorfman led that charge. And so they brought the name back, but I don't think there seems to be any history in honoring Rawson themselves.
Especially because we had to look at it.
muted some monies.
Yeah, it was just more like, they said it just had
There's
more
a
charm. When it's
significant
called
business there.
Liz
that's-
Rawson
yeah.
Lowry. So I fall on the side of it's much nicer as 33rd Street LaGuardia Community College
Yeah.
for all the reasons everybody is saying. I just want to make sure we don't erase any part of history because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
And to be fair, LaGuardia Community College is already fairly long of string.
Yeah.
So it's already becoming quite a long name, I think, as it is, which is why I would hesitate. I would prefer to replace Rawson with LaGuardia Community
I hope
College.
they don't build a school on Bliss Street.
Me too. Because then I'll lose my beautiful Bliss Street.
Is there any room for LaGuardia to become LaGuardia College or LaGuardia University or any of those things? Or will the word community all, because that, it does make it long hard. I mean, I am concerned because I rely on those signs that move where the letters and things move across and there's only so much space and you've got something that's too long. I mean, LaGuardia CC would.
But the Bronx community, don't they have COMM?
I mean, could abbreviate
Yeah,
it
it could be
somewhat.
abbreviated.
CC.
an alternative
LaGuardia
is,
CC.
because the MTA is such a big system with so many maps, maybe changing the name to Rawson Community College. I'm just kidding, Steph McGraw.
I do.
Yeah.
This would make it a lot easier if you could just change the name of your college to 33rd Rawson.
Sorry, yeah, Steph McGraw, go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't discussed the possibility of all three names with the assembly member, but I can do that. I know just on the proposal that we were thinking, which was replacing Rawson with LaGuardia Community College, we want to make sure there is community support for that. And so good to know just sort of like the history of the Rawson name. I wonder also if maybe there's other opportunities to honor that name and to bring out that history that don't involve the subway stop. I know when I moved to the area, I was also confused, like a previous speaker said, when I saw Rawson and I was like, okay, I've never seen that street. What is that? At least with Lowry and Bliss, there are the plazas and there are businesses around it that are named that. And so you get a little bit of a sense of like, okay, that's kind of that section of Sunnyside. But yeah, I'll bring this all back to the assembly member, but just to echo previous comments, I think, just with the impact that LaGuardia has on the entire community in Western Queens, and, just sort of another opportunity to advertise that this community college is here. And, if people are showing up for an event or, trying to consider where they might go to college, it's just another opportunity for people to see the name and understand where it is.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for giving the context that the assembly member would be behind this as well. And then, yeah, just for my own part, I like it. I agree with it. I would vote for it. I think I'll visit this room and we can discuss it later.
Thank you.
All right, and I didn't get an opportunity to say how important LaGuardia Community College is to our district and how much we like having them here and how much we love to see them grow and become a center of a neighborhood. So it makes the most sense to me to stop that.
And we've had great interns from LaGuardia.
Thank you for all your support, you guys.
I want to also add, you know,
We're missing the intern program.
the ribbon cutting for the plaza, the same event that I mentioned to Tom before he left, that the Transportation Alternatives organized, featured that plaza. They're doing a test run of like a proposed projected bike lane network. And a representative off the clock from the Queensborough president's office was talking about how, you know, for a commuter college to have open space like that is the closest thing a lot of those students got to a quad. And so, you know, this committee is very supportive of a lot of the work like that the community college has been doing.
We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I mean, you guys were supportive since the beginning, because our students actually spoke to Tom and Sheila when we just like first was thinking about it and the closure and like, so. we do appreciate your support.
Joby Jacob, who's
Yeah,
a
Joby does that
professor,
too.
was very much of it, was largely his dream, I think, Richie.
I enjoy visiting every time I vote.
All right, well, thank you so much again, Claudia and Manny. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so I think we're closing public comment unless anybody has recently joined and wants to add before we go. All right, excellent. Thank you so much. Moving on the agenda, traffic enforcement issues. We continue to hear from members of our board and people in the community that vehicles illegally parked on sidewalks throughout the district are a major problem. Everybody hates it. Especially, it's a major problem in front of automobile businesses, which are on streets that connect us to our transit, our schools, and our shops. They are parts of our neighborhood and not independent from us. So I would like to have a resolution where we ask the 108th precinct to fully enforce throughout the district against illegal sidewalk parking. As a matter of the ADA as well as the quality of life, which they now have in the department.
Tom was saying before he left that they were pulling trucks off sidewalks today. So.
I mean, that's good. I've definitely seen some areas where there's less, but there are also areas where it just never changes.
Yeah, like Woodside Ave.
Yeah,
I live and,
So,
you know, are you making that as a motion? Need a second?
as long as we're on the issue, if we want to do it, or we can
Second.
talk about it, seconded. All right, so a motion to ask the 108th precinct to strictly enforce the laws against illegally parking on the sidewalk, with a special emphasis in front of automobile businesses throughout our district. Seconded, discussion.
Do you need to say automobile businesses? I mean, it's auto repair shops, but if you had other businesses that were getting a lot of this double parking or parking on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to say it, but we want to make
There is
sure.
overflow to other businesses that we've got things about. parking.
Yeah, yes.
So we talk about it at every town
Including
meeting.
in
Or,
in front of businesses. manufacturing districts.
Yeah, I think in industrial business districts, or manufacturing districts,
I have been a little frustrated with the 108. I've been 311ing cars that have been parked on the sidewalks, just like we're describing. And I will say, in a positive note, they have started calling as policy every time you 311 illegal parking, which was great. But it was disappointing in that they told me that some of the cars were parked legally because they were touching the front of the business, which it's not how this works. So I'm actually gravely concerned that the officers don't actually know the law, and I'm worried that if we just say strictly enforce the law, they'll be like, great, we're already doing that, easy.
Yeah, I mean, we could say that the law is that there is no parking past the property line of the business, which, you know, is defined on maps, but you can tend to tell by the way all the other properties line up against the sidewalk.
yeah, I think there are times when you have a wider sidewalk and it's also where sometimes the restaurants are using that to put tables and so
You
on.
have to apply.
So, huh?
Yes, no, they have a
Well,
license.
Yeah, they've done that.
Well, I mean, I don't know whether it's across the board, but I do know they did remove apparently Amparo told me there was a red VW that was forever in front of the new park they're building. And there's been a gray Jaguar that has been there for several years in front of Hudson Auto thing on 37th Ave.
You guys should be sending emails to the office so that we can follow
Well,
about.
my son thinks the guy is a really nice guy, and he thinks.
I think I will.
There must be a regulation as far as how much frontage has to be available to pedestrians.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there has to be.
Well, the
That's my
property
point,
line
right?
only goes up to a certain part, and then the rest is not their property. And you can't drive on a sidewalk anyway, unless it's part of a driveway.
Right. I mean, some of these cars.
But,
yeah.
yeah, we're talking about people parking on sidewalks. Somebody can have a front yard where they park, but
Right.
maybe that's not even legal either.
Yeah, I can forward the photos that, you know, I included my 311 to the precinct. So that's like one thing is that I'm concerned, they're not completely enforcing it. They might think they are. That's like, I don't know how to address that, but that's a significant concern I have. Another point is, they're back on the Blissville, the Queens Bridge Baby Greenway. So I don't know if that needs to be a separate motion, but we should also talk about that. That they're
They're in a
encouraging.
different district though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
CB1,
Damn, darn.
north of the Queensboro Bridge.
Part of my
side, yeah.
Alright, well,
Well,
let's write, easy one about it.
You can ride CB1.
Um,
We have a lot to do.
Just
Yeah.
talking about sidewalk parking or also double park.
I mean, that's a big fish to fry too. We hear a lot about sidewalk parking, so I want to say specifically sidewalk parking.
Yeah, I think we should, in many districts, there is massive double and sometimes triple parking, and fortunately, I don't think we have so much of that, and so maybe we.
I've seen a lot of them,
You have a lot on Roosevelt Avenue,
yes.
a lot
Yes,
of double
but-
parking on Roosevelt Avenue.
Yeah,
I've been
and-
forced into a bike lane a
Mhm.
number of times already with some trucks.
Yes. Yeah, I get a lot of double parking on Queens Boulevard, on Greenpoint Ave, you know, any of the commercial areas. Also, as we all know, parking, it's stopping or idling or parking in a painted shoulder bike lane, like an unprotected bike lane is de facto unenforced.
Yeah.
I don't know if that should be a separate motion. I would make a separate motion about it, but like, that is a huge concern for me as a cyclist, and I think it prevents a lot of people from doing safe enough to even try taking around the neighborhood, which leads to more driving. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but like,
Okay, so we could do a separate.
should we do that?
about
We right now, we
parking.
get a motion on the table and a
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
so,
Right.
Yeah, so we'll discuss that after. Let's just talk about sidewalk parking, which is something, sorry, my daughter's. Sidewalk parking, which is something we hear continuously, is one of the primary complaints
Yes.
for the office.
Yes.
It's one of my major complaints, is why I'm on this board, is because I want safe sidewalks. Primarily, so my children can walk, and safe crossings and crosswalks. So my resolution that I put up is to have the 108 more strictly enforced to the law against illegal sidewalk.
That's what I thought I second.
And you second.
We added more.
With an emphasis not to ignore manufacturing districts, business districts, which are parts of our community.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, so, what was that called?
Call a question. All in favor?
All in favor of the motion.
I'm sorry, I do this very often.
Okay.
Randy's in favor,
And
It's unanimous.
it's unanimous,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Nobody wants anybody parking on the sidewalk. And the only people who can stop it are the police, and we ask them please to stop it. I've long said that if it's happening everywhere, it's a political problem, so I would hope that our elected official representatives watching know that the community does not want any sidewalk parking. If there's a new mayor coming in, which there will be since our current mayor is not running, I hope that that mayor more strictly enforces it as the head of the community. Great,
May I make a second motion,
yes.
for a similar letter focused on parking and illegal parking in bike lanes. With a particular focus on key corridors, key through routes for cyclists. Such as 43rd Street, Queens Boulevard, Greenpoint Avenue.
This is the painted bike lane.
48th Street.
Walking in bike lanes,
Yes,
That's different than what I was saying.
It's interesting because I have.
A motion is on the floor.
Yeah,
They don't second it.
And you've,
well, a second, so we can discuss.
you second.
So,
Discussion.
No, I just wonder whether the target in a sense should be DOT to either harden those bike lanes. I have a real problem with the sharrows. To me, sharrows are fraudulent because they encourage bicyclists to go there and they offer no protection, nothing. And I think if you're gonna have sharrows, you should have permit paint, green paint.
So sharrows are the double chevrons, the little carrots that they put.
Often with an image of a bike.
Yeah,
I think
But
it's
it's
not
chevron.
safe for the car or the bike.
so I
It's a
treat,
shared lane arrow.
Yeah.
Arrow.
as a cyclist, I treat sharrows as wayfinding, not
Yeah.
as safety
Right.
infrastructure. They just tell me, here's where you should bike so people know where to expect you, and here's what will lead you to the next bike lane.
Right,
I read it as drivers, look, there's bikes here too.
yeah,
And
there's
that's-
all of that, but I think.
Right near your house, there's a Cheryl that's very dangerous.
Oh, it's terrible. I think that, the other part of it is the pedestrians. Because the pedestrian, if you see the Kermit, like when you're coming
Green
on
paint.
Stillman Ave, you see the green paint, oh, there's a bike lane here and you're gonna look to see if bike is coming. But if there's a sharrow, nothing, no warning. So I'm arguing, I won't present this as a motion because I think it has to be developed and fleshed out, but that's what I would love to see and particularly on behalf of pedestrians.
Yeah, I will say, obviously, I support converting unprotected bike lanes to become protected bike lanes, but the parking issue is a problem in the protected bike lanes too.
Yep.
So I think really this motion should be about enforcing parking in all bike lanes, but particularly the unprotected ones, because these seem to go totally unenforced. Just, they're almost used as flex parking in the city.
But I guess my thing is whether it's a police NYPD thing or a DOT thing, create loading zones, create spaces.
Sure,
Why
but
are
right now, the
people
law,
doing this?
the law is you can't idle or park in them.
Yep.
And I don't think I've ever seen the police like
Yeah.
really enforcing those.
So, but my point is to try to prevent the
Right.
and create the option. I mean, people are doing this because they have a need and we need to be
Right.
responsive.
Have we sent out any letters about neighborhood loading zones?
In terms of,
In terms of requesting, urgent implementation of neighborhood loading zones in the district?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a program that the DOT is doing that we've supported, but
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
nothing recent.
nothing recently and not universally. Sometimes it's about things like, hey, I think we could use a loading zone right here.
because, yeah.
You put it on Stillman Avenue as a loading zone. So then there was a bill pop the.
Where is the
Right
loading zone?
front of the school,
Expression say.
right front of
Russian say formally
the supermarket.
Yeah.
It's only for their truck during the day.
That
But then the trucks park in the bike
And
lane.
and I had another trailer right next to it.
Well, but that was quite a solution. I remember when the bike lane came in and literally the next day was a big 18-wheeler with Porky Pig on it.
It's a huge
In
problem
bike
with the
lane.
Queens Boulevard protected bike lane that, the CVS and there's lots of loading that is done on, it's a very industrial commercial corridor. And the bike lane is perfectly wide for a truck or a car to park in. So
Yeah.
they're always there and you know where to go if you're biking there. Other than Virgin
Mm-hmm.
with 3 lanes of moving traffic on a state
Yeah.
road.
Let me get Randy in here. Randy.
Yeah, for the motion on the table, I would like to offer a friendly amendment to add no parking and or standing in the bike lane, because I think there's oftentimes you see, especially in Hunters Point area, there's some just painted bike lanes that people stand in, and that would include loading, unloading.
Friendly amendment accepted.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, we're talking about parking in bike lanes, painted bike
Parking
lanes.
and standing.
And standing.
In bike lanes, particularly standard painted bike lanes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're overwhelming the police department.
Do you think it's not important that they enforce it?
Do I have like a little puppet string on the back?
No, I'm asking because it puts my life in danger when I have to go around a car.
Intimated that. What I'm saying is, if you give them too many things like parking, no parking or standing in bike lanes, especially the ones that are not, in bike lanes.
Okay.
Just in bike lanes.
Sure.
Because then you're gonna give
I'm fine with
the
that.
police.
Friendly
say,
amendment
well,
accepted.
If this is a one that has the barriers on it, well, maybe I can get away with that, but if it isn't, then I'll give a ticket.
Okay, friendly amendment accepted.
I don't know
Change the
who it's
language to
so friendly.
bike
To simplify the language to just say bike lanes and not the in particular part of it.
Okay, because the Sharrow is not a bike lane, so it's not,
Right.
it's a shared lane.
I'll fight the sheriff fight another day.
I also think it's important for this, if it's an issue. in our
No, but if
community-
we have specific locations that are chronic.
Yeah.
Please give them to me so I can have them addressed at the CAD.
Sure.
It's very important that they ask for specific locations that are chronic, that they like to look at to enforce.
Yeah, do there need to be intersections or can they be segments, like roadways?
Roadway segments, wherever you feel that there's chronic abuse.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah, and I was saying, it's important that if it's a problem that exists in our community, it's not up to us to run the police department. It's up to us to ask for the police department to enforce the law. And the law is that you cannot park in a bike lane. It puts people in danger. So if then the answer back from our community is, well, I have no place to park, then we ask for metered parking and loading zones. And we have a DOT rep and we can say that our community wants more metered parking and more loading zones. There was a letter to the office that asked specifically for that, saying, hey, this is a busy part of Long Island City. Can we get metered parking instead of long-term parking? Great. Yeah, I think that's a great solution. It's the roads are for everybody and the roads have to protect everybody. And people are not protected when they have to leave their lane and make themselves vulnerable into more dangerous traffic just because somebody wanted to pop in for some birdseed. Just for a minute.
Are you
If
trying
you're-
to convince me? I mean,
No. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Are you convinced? I don't want to, well, you said we're asking the police department to do too much. They
I
are
did
very,
not say that.
you
I
said,
did not say that.
oh, okay.
I said when you give them too many directions,
Yeah.
then they can pick and choose what they want to follow.
Okay, all right. It sounded like we shouldn't ask this because it might be too much for them, because it's a big problem.
No.
Keep it simple, stupid, is what I'm saying.
Simplify it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why they kept friendly.
And then what happens with the disabled parking?
I think that's part of the discussion, right, about meter parking loading zones, right? I do wanna add on to your point, especially for the record. I'm very sympathetic to the need to be able to stop a car, right? When I was moving, I was driving a U-Haul truck in the neighborhood. That was very frustrating to not be able to stop somewhere. There's deliveries, there's people with disabilities, right? There's many times where you have to drive a car in the neighborhood and you need a place to put it. And we need solutions that don't compromise safety infrastructure, right? I think that's what we're all looking.
Some of it is a contrast between the need for parking versus storage.
Yes.
So temporary parking is one thing, and that's where you need,
Yeah, well,
storage of your car.
And to Randy's point, right, the unprotected bike lanes where idling is the real problem is exactly the temporary thing. It's
Yeah.
making a pickup, making a drop off, where it feels like I'm only here for a couple minutes, just go around me, and that creates a chronic safety hazard where the bike lane is useless. So. I think we zeroed in, right, on the motion. I hope I don't have to say it again.
Yeah, so keep it simple, which was to enforce against.
To strictly enforce parking and idling in bike lanes.
Yeah, perfect. All right, call the question.
All in favor?
All in favor? Hey, that's it.
Oh, you say that. I'm sorry. I thought this was in the motion.
Oh, I don't know.
Miss,
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. That is traffic enforcement issues in our district. Yes.
In regards to just sort of connecting with, I don't know, I guess the Lavardi, all the Lavardi people have gone. But after the event yesterday and the commissioner made the mistake of hanging out long enough for Ross to decide. I had my bike and I had to get over to the bike lane on Queens Boulevard. But to get from that street, 29th Street and the intersection with Skillman safely over to Queens Boulevard, which obviously I succeeded in doing, but it was a nightmare. And you know, I decided to, since he was right here and now, and they did speak with him, and his assistant did make a lot of notes, and maybe when they do that redesign of Thompson, that may solve, but that one section of Skillman Ave that's two ways, and there's some shallows there too, but I mean, it was scary riding.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we wanna address that at some point, but.
Yeah, no, there's some problems in connecting with Crescent neighborhoods.
Yeah.
South Sunnyside, North Sunnyside, North Sunnyside to Astoria, Woodside.
It wasn't that street that they had there, and they put in bike racks and so on. It's like, wait a second, the minute you leave that wonderful protected space, you are in a disaster.
And it's dangerous to give people the perception that they're safe on a bike. You know, if part of it is very safe and we're encouraging,
Yeah.
the city's encouraging bike use, and then they find themselves in an area of the city that has no protection at all.
Speaking of bike lane projects, did we ever get a presentation from DOT on the Woodside Ave project that's straddles our border with like between Woodside and Elmhurst?
Working on the Woodside end of it. The
So
other-
did they ever present it to this committee?
This stuff north of Northern Boulevard?
They've actually put in quite a bit of Kermit and stuff up there,
So
but
it's
not in us.
it's Woodside Ave, and the primary project is Little Pilot?
Oh, you're on the other side.
Yeah.
of the sun.
Right, but the project scope touches our district.
Yeah.
They're
I
proposing
think
a,
they
you know, bike street.
sent information to us, to me in the office, but never presented.
Okay, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
I would have liked to weigh in on the design of the segment that is in our district.
Yeah.
Which is getting almost no treatments at all.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. They're like, you're not really getting much.
But that's all the more reason that we should be able to weigh in and say,
Yeah.
we're not satisfied with that, we want better safety, you know, on the street.
Maybe what we need to do is do an entire Woodside Avenue in our district thing as well, not just that part. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll,
I mean, we've asked them to look at, or I've asked them to look at, the contraflow bike lane
Yeah.
leading from 39th Avenue to the city bike rack at Billboy Park. So there
they
are
haven't
two.
striped it yet. They
Yeah.
repaved it, but they haven't striped it at all, so maybe
Yeah.
they'll surprise us.
I know Joseph said last month that they're planning something for that bit of Woodside Avenue. I don't know if that is happening with this striping
Yeah.
or just something. But boy, that part at 39th Avenue and Woodside Avenue, you see it's almost like a plaza.
Yeah.
How wide that roadway is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to, you know, advocating for more, you know, more in our district, right? Different department, but the MTA also made a big decision impacting our district. The F&M swap, did they come and present while I was out?
Not to us, no.
Okay.
They invite me to a webinar.
Okay, see, this is the problem, right?
Yeah, and I've discussed it at the community board meeting and I discussed it.
What's the implication for us of the F&M swap?
Essentially, the M is still local in Astoria, but now instead of the M going down to Court Square and meeting the E and 7 and G trains, it'll go straight into Roosevelt Island, where the F runs now.
Oh,
And instead, the F train that runs express under Northern Boulevard will go to Court Square and follow what the M does now. So it's good for some people, not good for other people, but it's to simplify operations, so they're not crossing over each other. And so they're proposing to increase frequency of the M train at rush hour, because it's not stopped by like crossing trains and stuff. But it just seems, that's a pretty significant change that this committee probably could have benefited from a presentation on, since it affects our district. The only reason I bring it up.
Yeah, I think on the whole, the word is that everyone likes this.
Well, not people in East Astoria. I
Sure,
can't get to the G train anymore,
yeah.
but I don't live there, so I'm there.
We care about it, we have a lot to care about here. But yeah, I think when there was construction on the M train and the F train last year, they discovered, oh wait, trains are moving better. And I think one of our board members, Camila, had said, if we just keep it like this forever, because this is nice, yeah. But you're right, I wish the MTA would present all that stuff rather than give it to me in a webinar. They kind of just present it, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Hi Maury, I see you, welcome.
Hi, Mark.
All right, we are playing it real loose here today, and I'm gonna tighten up just a little bit. With this, the next section is DOT. Joe is not here, but he gave us an update. His update reads, and he's just referencing things in our agenda. The Blissville Greenway, we have substantially completed the first phase of our Borden Review Avenues street improvement project. Some minor signal work remains. Last week, we hosted a press event with local stakeholders to kick off DOT's Biketober. Happy Biketober, everyone. We wanted to thank the local electeds and the Blissville Civic Association for attending. This month will feature several bike-related events around the city to highlight the expansion of our bike network, especially in Western Queens, and to encourage residents to bike throughout the month. We are working directly with several businesses involved with the project regarding outstanding concerns after installation and are working to correct. So we'll watch that. As far as like small items, signal study at 60th Street and 37th Avenue is still open and active. That is an intersection where the cars just really block any view for anybody trying to cross. Multi-way stop study for 50th Avenue and 64th Street was not approved. That is a long-standing study we asked for. We'll get to that. Request for,
Which is that under?
you see that? Is that-
Under Woodside?
that's- Yeah, I think that's, Woodside.
Like South Woodside.
Which was not approved, 50 and 69.
On the second page.
50th Avenue and 64th Street.
Oh, 50, 64.
Is that near Big Six?
50th Avenue where the bus stop used to be.
Oh, don't have that down.
No, it's on here. 50th.
50 and 64.
It's not, the first one, the second line.
These are the first, because it
Circle.
was last,
Second line.
Maybe that was updated.
that was updated from last month.
Okay.
From 50th Avenue to most from
That was updated from last month, 50th Avenue and 64th Street. He has it on here twice, but last month it wasn't approved.
Okay.
It was not.
So we took it off the agenda.
Oh, it's not, it's not.
between 69, 64, 65th place, and that's circle. So
Is
that's
that the place where they had a flooding, they were all going to kill that were in a basement apartment?
That was on.
Down the hill. What's that? Down right
Yeah,
now.
not this one, right? It's
No.
Remember somebody lives up the top.
Good. I'll give you that.
50th and 64th, that looks like.
Well, the 64th is between 65th and 69th.
One-way street
Yeah.
conversion.
Was it a speed study? What was the request for?
Multi-way stop.
Okay.
Request for all-way stop signs at
Okay, yeah,
54th
it's a
Street
different
and
request.
39th Avenue is still open and active.
Okay.
Got something here to send a letter for. Markings and signage on the Queensboro Bridge bike path. The team is continuing street improvement project work at the base of the bridge and is aware of the markings issue. Unit will continue current work and move towards correcting the condition. So I think that's something we would have talked about. They are very close to finishing that crosswalk at the base of the bridge, which is nice. The concrete is in. I think just a few more touches. But for this Biketober, it would have been nice if this months-long issue had been resolved, where the Queensboro Bridge bike lane has the wrong markings and it creates confusion and conflict.
So frankly, I don't buy that. If Bridges is a different department from Bike Ped, the team that's working on the road is likely a different crew that would be working on the bridge. They can correct me if they like. But it's unacceptable. This was done months ago. People are crashing on the bridge and You know, I know for a fact that Advocate talked to them and said, can you scrape this up? Otherwise, you know, someone might take it unto themselves to paint it black themselves. And then they were told, if you don't want to do something illegal, you can stand at the bottom of the bridge, tell people not to walk there, which is just urging people to get into a fight. Right? If this was a road, it would have been restriped by now. It's insulting. You know, it's like, did they finish the project or did they not finish the project? How hard is it to scrape up some paint?
I agree, and that's what we've said, and that's what I said in a letter months ago. But we
You can
can
say it again,
say it again.
more firmly. somehow.
Ridiculous.
Because we're also like, we're heading into cold weather when we can't really paint, but
I'm thinking of getting some of that wide black tape.
I will note that the markings are on the cement part of the bridge, which may be harder. I don't really know the science on it. May be harder to scrape off, because the cement part has ridges built into it.
So repaint it, paint it bright.
Yeah,
Why can't you say in the letter be, you are forewarned? If somebody gets hurt and you get sued, don't come crying to me.
Well, that's rather.
I'd rather say be forewarned our vice chair is gonna go paint it herself.
I mean, if you had a bike and you had a couple cans of green paint on the back,
They happen to fall off.
would it get cleaned up?
This is, it's just, I feel like this is the kind of thing that leads to failing trust with our agencies, right? This should be something that was so simple, part of the scope of opening a connection from the bridge. How did this not get included in the scope? Why is it not happening? No explanation, just we're working towards getting to it. That's, you know, that's unacceptable. Let the
Well,
record show.
yeah, but they.
Do we want to send a letter, a soft letter, just,
Yeah, I would like to.
just reminding them that this is a major issue for the people who use this bridge? And
I think you should talk that mention, people will get hurt.
Yeah.
Well, fights are occurring now, so.
fights are happening. People are very aggressive when they're told they're in the wrong
I
place.
think stressing the urgency and our confusion as to why it's so complicated. You know, other than if we ask them why it's complicated, they're gonna tell us why it's complicated, so. We should
mean,
ask
I'd love to
them
know why it's
do it
complicated.
immediately.
Say, I've seen fewer pedestrians on the north out of roadway.
Yeah, but you still, it's just like a car on the bike lane. If there's one, you still have to go around them.
No, yeah, no, I mean, I don't wanna hurt somebody.
Yeah. So a letter asking that, I think, maybe as an olive branch, if there's a technical reason that they really can't change the floor markings. Quickly, put up more signs on the bridge itself. Telling pedestrians that they can now use the Southwest roadway, that this is for bikes only. That they're not relying on New York City residents to do enforcement on the bridge that they're just trying to use.
All right, let's get so there's a motion to send a letter asking for the DOT to
Expedite.
expedite the process of remarking the bridge, which has been changed by law for months, but by markings has not been changed.
Well,
Creating conflict and danger on the roadway.
yes, I think you need to say, this is in effect a repetition. We have already, I mean, we are distressed that they have not even given us a reasonable
Like a timeline.
explanation. Our timeline.
What's the original letter?
Yeah.
How many letters have you written?
Well, I wrote a personal letter to the DOT asking why it was taking so long, but we have not done a board letter because the issue was over the summer.
Yeah.
So let's.
Do we need a second?
In this letter as, Maury, Maury's in favor, or you have a question?
Seconding or?
Oh,
whatever.
second, Maury, thank you so much. All right, we did discussion, any more discussion, call the question, all in favor? Okay, thank you, unanimous.
And
We're gonna try to get, votes on these letters, just so there's no confusion about whether we pass this thing.
I know I've interrupted Joe's up.
Okay, well,
There was,
you can-
a related topic.
Everyone.
Thank you, thank you.
May I raise a related topic or should I wait till after we finish Joe's updates?
I'm almost done, so let's just finish it up. So that was Queensboro Bridge. This week we celebrated the opening of the 29th Street Plaza at LaGuardia Community College. We hosted a press event with the college to highlight the plaza and our Trick or Treats events that will be happening throughout this month at our open streets locations. We want to thank the college for their partnership and CB2 for attending. We also want to thank the local electeds for attending, including Councilmember Wong, who has been a strong advocate for making this project happen.
And Assemblymember Valdez.
And Assemblymember Valdez. Yes. Local electeds.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. No. Resolution letter about the Queensboro Bridge. Okay, Corey?
Yeah, so this is related to the Queensboro Bridge. It's the Queensboro Bridge approach, the Queens Plaza. When you're coming on the Queens Boulevard Bridge, where that construction site is. I feel like only a few months ago, we were applauding the, quick fixes to kind of normalize the squeeze pedestrian and bike traffic at this section. But immediately after, we were all saying, oh, this looks great. Some bizarre plastic rumble speed bumps were put in.
Yeah.
That are definitely not regulation. They definitely do not follow NYC DOT's like standards. And they're extremely disruptive.
But I think actually we did discuss this last
Oh, we did
month.
last.
Well,
Corey got kicked out.
yeah,
accident.
because, I mean, I have almost been thrown off my bike and talk
Same.
about, in addition to that black tape, I wanna go down there with my Granger tool and unscrew every other rumble strip,
Yeah.
because there's too many, too fast. And we spoke specifically to Joe Patty and that.
DOT has a design typology for bike rumble strips. They use it on 34th Avenue in Jackson Heights. I know it's not our district, but they can do that if they need bicyclists to exercise caution and slow down. They have design language to do that. This is unprecedented in the city, and it's already a dangerous area with fast
Yeah.
right turning trucks. It's so chaotic. I want them to rip it up. It's not. I don't know how this got
I
approved.
think DOT is just relying on the property owner to do these fixes, and there have been fixes that
You think
DOT has
that
had to
was a
tell.
property owner? Put that one in the rumble strips right?
Yeah,
there?
like when they put the sign in the middle.
Well, there was that,
DOT
yeah, they
said-
fixed that pretty quick.
Yeah, because the property owner did it, and then the DOT told them, you can't do it.
You mean the construction?
The construction site that is taken off the sidewalk.
So, and also frankly, as I understand it, there's an ordinance that when a construction zone impedes a protected bike lane, they're required to construct a separate temporary bike lane, right? Now, that would take lanes away from Queens Boulevard, which I understand is a politically difficult task, but that is the city ordinance.
Yeah.
Right? Why has that not been enforced here? Why are bikes mixing with pedestrians in both directions, just like the Queensboro Bridge that we just had a huge fight over, and creating conflicts when there's already animosity between seniors and e-bikes and all this stuff? It's a huge bottleneck for all of Queens to get through our district, to get on the bridge. And it's just, again, this insulting secondary priority, right? So I would like us to send a letter.
You wanna ask for a study for a protected bike lane in the street?
I don't want to study it. I want them to enforce the city ordinance that requires the developer to make a separate protected bike lane and a separate pedestrian through space. And at the very least, remove these these out of standard, non-standard, speed bumps.
Yeah, Corey, don't you think, I mean, if you just remove every other one, it's because they're very aggressive and will right, boom, 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 boom.
I
But the
think
problem is also, each one has bolts sticking
Yeah.
out the sidewalk that
it's
bike tires have to go over.
DOT has a design toolkit for a reason.
Yeah.
If they want to let a
Well-
developer do it, make them work from the DOT
Yes,
toolkit. We
okay.
need standard infrastructure around the city.
Okay, that I would, that I could.
Maury, do you wanna weigh in? Sorry.
Are you muted, Maury?
Oh, well,
You're muted, sir.
Ask to unmute.
Sorry, I'm on mute. It's kind of related, so I think I'll wait till we finish discussing this and then, because I think it's a little, yeah, I'll wait.
Okay, I'll look for you.
Sorry, thanks.
Sorry, Ross, if I cut you off.
yeah, I mean, I don't quite remember what I said.
Yeah.
I think the idea of asking them, it's interesting because the fact that it was the people, it's a temporary thing. I mean, the building will get built and then it's over. But in the meantime, I suspect that, well,
Well, if they have put down something that is illegal, actually illegal, or is not DOT standard.
I just know
DOT needs to take it up.
So just being out of standard isn't necessarily illegal. There's a gray area there, right? But there are engineering standards that the DOT projects use, right? For, you know, reliability purposes, to your point, to your previous points and a couple other, you know, issues like. So I think our ask is that they only approve these, you know, the standard designs that DOT uses for its own projects, right? And I also want to frame this, right? Like, I think that intersection is already very tight for everyone, cars included. But when you look at the distribution of space, it's like, how many lanes? 6 lanes. No, it's a complex intersection, there's lots of turns and stuff. 5 or 6 lanes, right? At that intersection, you have a subway exit, you have 2-way bike travel, and you have 2-way pedestrians, all converging,
bus
right?
stop.
And a bus stop. And
Bus stop empties right into
the fact that it's not, that it wasn't obvious that they needed to take 1 car lane away to make room for everyone there. I don't understand it, you know, it just shows me that one type of mobility in this city matters more than everyone else. And I know that's not the city's official policy, but that's how it reads to me as someone who goes to the intersection a lot on foot and on bike.
Now, I get your point, but I think in terms of what we might suggest, I mean, doesn't DOT get to inspect, let's say the contractor of the bill, you know, puts in this. Can't DOT come along and look at it and say, no, this is, you've got to make this change, that's really what we want.
Yeah.
To start with, to do another, I mean, I
Yeah.
understand you're supposed to
I
protect.
think it'd be a 2-part request. One is bring it into standard, bring it into a DOT project standard. And if possible, right, create more space to separate these conflicting uses of pedestrians and transit users from bikes and bikes, right?
I mean, I think we can ask them to study and do a traffic study to see if taking 1 car lane away to give it to bikes so that pedestrians can have the full sidewalk. Because if you are a pedestrian, you have a very narrow sidewalk because of the pillars of the bridge.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the pedestrians get a bad deal on
Yeah.
that one. And when there's snow on it, it's impassable.
I mean, I'm really sympathetic. If you took the M train to Queens Plaza, and it was soon to be the F train, to Queens Plaza and stepped up and turned right, you could get hit by a bike. And that's not anyone's fault, except for maybe the DOT's
You can get somebody coming off the subway and somebody coming off the bus.
Yeah.
And everybody gets hit.
Everyone
at the
goes
same time.
down to the same
They
point.
used to have it, I thought my nightmare was riding my bike down and suddenly ending up on the stairs of the platform.
Yeah, if you spill out, I mean,
That was
I think there's been serious crashes at the intersection of
Yeah.
right hooks. If you tumble on those out of standard speed bumps and fall into the roadway,
Oh.
which by the way, the asphalt is a mess there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You could die.
I think the construction is happening for the next few years.
I would propose, there's two different motions here. The easy one is have them inspect and bring them into those speed bumps into compliance. Okay, that would be.
I think the whole area into compliance.
Well, the bigger the scope of the project, the longer it'll take.
If along the lines of what you were saying. Keep it very specific, that particular, I mean, that's very aberrant and difficult. So, that would be my first motion. Now, the second one, anticipating along the lines of explore, bringing them into compliance with the requirement that construction sites have to provide a protected bike lane. I don't think that's, I think that they are miracle workers and sometimes they come up with solutions that we can't anticipate. Wonderful, but,
This is going on.
it's only about what, this summer they came in on.
No, the speed bumps are the summer, but
Yeah.
it's been an issue there for the past 3 years.
So for 3 years, the DOT has not forced them to give a bike lane.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it is a very difficult spot, and I would say those speed bumps do have a certain desired effect. I mean, I try to avoid them and go into the pedestrian lane and then come back and, you know, it's a little bit of a, because they literally, the first time I encountered them, I nearly was thrown off my bike.
They have the desired effect in the same way that like a dangerous intersection would be calmed by putting a block of granite in the center. of it.
Well, for the slowest cars down.
It definitely doesn't slow cars down.
So that's a desired effect.
Yeah, it's just.
My,
it's just
my
dangerous.
desired effect is not to slow cars down, but I think that my proposed solution might incidentally slow cars down. Because it'd be taking a lane away, right? It would reduce the capacity of that intersection. So,
I think the concern is the causing congestion and
Yeah.
lane away.
Yeah, yeah,
is a place where lots of intersections are happening.
yes,
So
Yes.
we can't sit with, we can ask.
Yeah.
And say, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea?
It may increase the problem. Yeah.
But I would keep that as a separate
Yeah,
issue.
But because of
from-
congestion pricing and
I was just gonna say.
I mean, I have to drive
Slow down.
every day.
yeah.
And
it's
you
a bad
have to
area.
get out there at certain.
Oh, yeah.
but-
No, the traffic is
Yeah,
horrible.
but in traffic, it's not.
And the bus, it's slow, are you saying the buses are
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ridiculous to get on the Q32 or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
So.
You know, if they put a bus lane, the bike
Motion,
machine,
I'm
bus
making
lane.
that first motion, anybody second it?
Okay,
First, the motion,
It's to bring, to ask DOT to inspect those speed bumps and bring them into compliance, make them standard
DOT standards.
to standards,
They have certain guidelines.
whatever they are.
all right, so you made the motion, seconded.
She made the motion.
You made the
Okay.
motion now, and you're seconding.
Yes.
Great, discussion.
We just
Got it.
discussed.
Solve the question.
Call the question.
The only thing in discussion, sorry, may I?
Yeah.
The only thing is, I want to specify that we want them to bring into compliance with DOT project standards,
Yes,
right? Even if DOT isn't doing it, that it complies with, you know, the type of infrastructure that DOT would use.
good, yeah, no, okay, that, that's a friendly.
Which DOT has done further on the bike lane.
Yes.
On, Queens Plaza North,
Yes,
where it's rumble strips that are
Yeah.
annoying.
yes.
Well, I did respond in that area, like when they had the stop signs and they're taking them out and things of that sort, so.
Okay, so, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. About the speed bump issue, all right, Randy and Maury, it is unanimous,
Good.
iPhone.
all right, and then the second part of your, ask?
That I'm leaving to
Okay,
Cory.
so the second motion is, in alignment with city rules requiring construction projects that obstruct a protected bike lane to create a temporary new separated bike lane, we're requesting the same be done at that intersection. So that pedestrians and subway riders and bus riders can have, you know, ample space
And safety.
and safety.
Yeah, seconded.
Any discussion?
I seconded.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, any discussion?
When that construction project will be done, what,
I read in 2 years,
and what is
Oh.
it?
it's gonna be a tower building,
building?
yeah,
10 years, you said?
2 years, 2 years.
This is,
Scott, it was 10 years then.
this is
Did I say 10 years?
No, no, no.
No, what I.
this is on the south side of the bridge.
It's on the
North
westbound side, so it's the north side. Like driving towards the
Where those
bridge.
very, well, if you don't know those rumble strips, they're very.
There used to be a gas station there.
And
now it's big one.
Stick around and photo.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Phoenix House or something?
I feel like there was a gas station. wasn't there?
No,
Okay.
well, there may have been, oh no, there was a gas station, but Phoenix House. Huh?
This house is on.
Um,
go.
yeah, but it may, that may be the same, because it isn't Vernon, it goes at Jackson.
Yeah, this is it, Queens
That's
Boulevard
Jackson.
against Jackson and go on to Northern, if you turn right.
Oh,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
All right, so, seconded discussion. What do you think it would look like?
The same as in Manhattan when there's a construction project.
But this is limited space, you'll
Well,
have one
I-
side for pedestrians,
I
so
would
it would have
leave-
to go into the street.
Yeah, I would leave guidance to how it happens to DOT, but potentially with subway exit makes it complicated. But, I think they would have to consult with DOT and.
I think we'll build a
Likely-
building, put the subway exit in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah, I
the
don't think you can
construction
move
zone,
subways.
the construction zone, right,
Yeah.
right? I suspect,
Beyond, sorry, you know what, just beyond that one,
Or-
dating myself. Tab on, right, okay.
That's really, I don't remember.
There's a case in your.
Corner, right?
Yeah,
Where
no,
the-
I read that.
Is the corner where the subway is?
Yeah,
Was it Daytop Village that was there also? There was some, an organization like that.
yeah, I suspect that the simplest solution, like in terms of infrastructure, would be the northmost lane. You know, get barriers on it and bikes would just be in the street and then the entire sidewalk could be used by pedestrians and transit users. But of course, that comes at the cost of removing one lane, so perhaps there would just be a traffic study.
I have a question. Is this where the bus makes that?
Yeah.
Right turn onto Northern and then all the way up and around, so
Yeah, yeah.
you can get into the plaza?
Yes.
They had said when they were doing the bus redesign, that they were gonna change that route of that bus.
Did it change?
No. It's
But-
not because it has to cross Northern.
Yeah.
With the oncoming traffic, so they have to wait for there to be a lull in traffic going in whatever direction that is. Before it turns, and it's like this much away from the hotel entrance,
Yeah.
as it turns around, they said, we're gonna change that.
Speaking of which, where is the bus stop there? Is it, it's not, it can't be right at that somewhere. It's right
Yeah, it
there.
is.
Why didn't they move that?
They-
I'm
they-
gonna say for the
they
interest of
cancelled
time,
that.
because we have things to talk about in
Because
business.
the bus
So
will
they
go on the
just-
train.
I'll accept an assumed friendly amendment that they should discuss with DOT the best solution.
I mean,
Yeah.
do a study or something.
Yeah, do a study.
That's
It's fine,
basically-
study it.
I mean, let's respect their expertise.
Construction, so the study will be finished.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's just, it's something else.
Maury, what do you have?
All right, so this is kind of all encompassing. I want to. I feel a little frustrated because I feel like so many times we have our meetings and we talk to Joe and the team at DOT, and so many of the issues, you know, are especially the smaller ones that are like really easy fixes, just linger and never get addressed, and it's really frustrating. I feel like we're all so diplomatic and polite and professional, and we bring these up each month, you know, with Joe, and we'll, you know, we get responses like, we'll look into it, we're going to work on this. Oh yeah, that's an easy one, but then it never happens. And I know, you know, I can hear Corey's frustrated. Hear some of these ones where he's like, it's not that big of a deal, you know, or this should be a systematic thing. Or like we can go back and I remember when Patricia had asked several months ago, last spring, about the car share, like what's the car share, why is it? And then it took me like poking around only to discover that the car share went out of business in New York a year ago, and the signs are still up showing, like, preventing anyone from parking there. And whether we make that a parking spot or we decide to make it a pocket park, it shouldn't be just ignored and you know, flat out lie and say this is a car share spot when there's no car share to speak of. And then there was the issue of like going back a few years now, the pedestrian dangerous situation on South Queens Boulevard and Jackson Avenue that they said they were going to address and put a walk don't walk sign on the like side road part. There's the issue of I bring it up every month now, the painted lines coming off the Queensboro Bridge going west. There's the sign for the school. The crossing guard was complaining about the issue with IS 125 where somebody got killed and somebody got badly injured, and all they want is a sign that says school slow zone or whatever. They have them in other areas. How difficult is it for DOT to come out and put up this sign? It shouldn't take, you know, what is it, 6 months since that person was murdered by a truck driver in the intersection. Put up some signs. And then this is an issue the office and I have been working on for like probably almost a year or more, with this broken sidewalk by where the old Rite Aid was on Queens Boulevard and 46th Street. And every time a complaint sent into 311, it comes back that they've notified the property owner. Well, the property owner is absentee. I'm sure they're getting fines, but meanwhile, disabled people, people in using walkers, people with kids and strollers, kids, senior citizens. We have several senior citizens in our building that have almost fell over on this broken sidewalk. Um, it's ridiculous. And at one point, there was talk that it might be the Parks Department's responsibility because there's a tree pit there, and it might be the roots that are pushing it up. Parks came out and said it's not their responsibility. So it's all this who struck John, and I'm just a little frustrated because here we are doing our work, all working in committee on this from month to month to month. And the office is, putting in the reports, talking, and Debbie's telling them in her cab meetings, and a lot of this stuff is just sliding through and they just don't follow up. Is there something we can do to make this happen?
Yeah. I mean, even today, I'm trying to be more forceful with these letters. Like, let's send out a bunch of letters to get things done. I think, what is our power? We advise the city council member, so we can send these issues to the city council member and other elected officials. It does sometimes feel like when we ask the DOT in our office for things, we'll say, we hear back. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll work on that. And, the reason our agenda is so long is because it takes so long for studies to actually and things to happen. I don't want them to be forgotten like the things you're naming.
Yeah, and even these little ones. Maybe we can even just, I don't know. I mean, it used to be that like sometimes the commissioner would come in like once a year or something. We haven't seen anybody in a long time, right, Debbie?
We can invite her.
Yeah, like when was the last time she came? Long time ago, right?
Means DOT commission.
Yes,
This office.
Come every once in a while.
Yeah.
certainly not since Riley's picture.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I take your point, and let's instead of like always fighting with kid gloves, like we're not in a fight, but also we're advocating for things to happen now. That I would remind the DOT if they were here, by law, they're supposed to build more bike lanes, bus lanes, by the end of this year, right? The streets master plan.
They build every single year.
And DOT is really, really far behind on that, and I do not think that it's going to happen. So when they find themselves outside of the law, I don't know what's going to happen there either. But a council was elected and a mayor was elected who determined that we wanted to change the face of our city to be more pedestrian and cyclist and all vulnerable users be safer and more comfortable. And DOT is way behind on their work. And we love the DOT and we love projects, big projects like the Queensboro Bridge, which was also very far behind, and the Blissville Greenway when they actually get finished. But there's also these smaller things, intersection by intersection, sidewalk by sidewalk, that we have to keep fighting for.
And then we have to hold them to account. That's our job. And they're, they serve the people of the community, right?
Yeah, and I would ask this committee also to help me because I have limited time as a volunteer in this. I cannot, pursue every single thing on my list all the time. So if there are issues that are happening in your daily life, please tell me, tell the office, pursue it, let me know that you're pursuing it, and we'll see if something, what is our power? We can write a letter.
Yeah, maybe the commissioner can come and we can just say, hey, we're frustrated. Let's shake this up.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
So call the question on my motion.
And we still have a motion on the table.
All right, I'm sorry.
And then, great, so the motion was for another letter asking for, or.
Well, yeah, requesting a study,
Requesting.
requesting that the,
That the area come into,
right, that the landowner that created the, okay,
the temporary.
yeah, requesting that, the property owner and the DOT work to,
Follow the regulations.
right, to follow the regulations in New York City that require construction zone that impacts a protected bike lane to create a separate temporary protected bike lane. And work with DOT to, find a, a workable solution at this intersection.
And what intersection is that? It's
Um,
to this.
Yes, it is.
Queens Boulevard and Jack.
Is it
What's the
Jackson?
north side of Jack?
Northern over there, it's the northeast corner of Queens Boulevard.
It is, Queens Plaza East
Hmm.
and Queens Boulevard.
Is that not Northern Boulevard, right at that corner?
Northern Boulevard
it is
turns
much
into it, but
smaller.
it splits into Queens, to North and Queens Plaza East.
Let me ask you something. Because I've noticed bicyclists, when they're coming down Stoughton Avenue, and they want to go across the yards, Sunnyside Yard, they go on the sidewalk.
You're talking about where there is a painted protected bike lane on the sidewalk?
I don't know, I'm in a car.
Is it green or is it brown?
There's a lot of places where the bike lane goes on the sidewalk.
I know that they whip around, they make a fast right turn.
Yeah.
Onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's where the bike lane goes.
Okay, so the
The
bike
DOT
goes
makes
up
them
the
do that.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's construction impeding that sidewalk? Is that what you're saying?
So that's on one side of the bridge, we're talking about the other side. of the
yeah,
bridge.
so,
On the
so,
other
yeah,
side.
so
Or,
I see, so you're coming down Skillman and you're turning right to go under the 7 train, right? That like horrible bridge that we all hate. Yeah, so there's a 2-way protected bike lane painted onto the sidewalk there.
Okay,
And when you get over the hill to enter like the chaos of Queens Plaza, where there's a big construction zone, there is a subway exit
yes.
and the 2-way bike lane goes in there, but it merges into like 1 4-foot width. And there's a 4-foot width for pedestrians.
Where is the construction?
It's at that corner, like the whole, it's a giant pit, like this big green wood, like,
At the corner
yeah,
of Queens Boulevard and Northern Boulevard.
where the traffic is going towards the bridge.
Yes.
Not away from,
correct,
towards the bridge.
correct.
Okay. So that stops the sidewalk?
The construction has
the
encroached
construction-
onto the sidewalk
Yeah, I think
with plywood.
the construction encroaches onto the sidewalk, actually all the way like.
There's a building operation.
Is for the subway. So you have a squeezed area of about 8 feet between the steel pillar and the green boards of the construction. I should do this way, Stevie. I just, right,
So the bicyclists can get all the way to the subway.
past the subway, because the bikes are trying to get to Long Island City.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but they can get unimpeded up to the subway.
Yes,
Almost.
basically to the subway entrance,
Okay.
almost there.
And it's at that point where they would have to have another bike lane
Yeah,
too, okay.
or at least like they need to create more space, because right now. It's like too much stuff sharing about 8 feet of sidewalk space.
I mean, if you're asking for another bike lane. You're asking for this much, you know? Just for them to get around the corner.
Yeah,
and
basically.
The bus around the.
Yeah,
road,
that's
all
one
that
solution.
stuff.
Right,
I think it's maybe if they said something like, please walk your bikes, there are places where bikes have to walk.
the issue is, this is the convergence of. A protected bike lane stretching from Jamaica to the Queensboro Bridge and the Northern Boulevard bike lane and the Skillman Avenue bike lane. It's pushing a borough's worth of bike traffic into a tiny bottleneck, and to ask anyone to walk their bike there is just not gonna happen.
There's also no alternatives. This is the
There's really
only
no
place where bikes can go,
Yeah.
unless they go around to Northern Boulevard, which is
Totally-
huge.
Totally.
But
agree.
but it is important. It's almost like an expressway.
Yeah.
You don't ask cars to walk at any point. on the
Well, I
expressway.
think.
But you have cars and you have pedestrians and you have buses and you have bicycles. It's an impossible situation.
Right, my point is, space has been taken away from pedestrians and bus riders and train riders and bike riders. But no space has been taken away from car drivers. And right now, it's a very dangerous situation because the bus, train, walking and bike riders are all fitting into 8 feet
Yeah.
of right of way. So I'm saying like, let's rebalance this a little bit.
The cars do go from 3 lanes into 2.
Do they?
Yes, when you're going out to the.
Oh, my phone died. I can't see it.
Well, I mean, it may have changed also because of the bike lanes on Queens Boulevard, but, you know,
I don't,
I
I
think what we
really,
need to do is just appeal to the expertise of
Yes,
the
that's what I'm doing.
DOT to try to figure out a solution. I mean, 100%.
I mean, even if they had to just narrow the car lanes and not remove one, just to create a little bit of, I don't know, right? I defer to the experts, but
Normally,
there needs to be something done.
I would rather get off and cross Old Plaza and get on again. If it's gonna be my life, or me getting squished between a bus and a car, I would get off.
Well, that's the
Well,
thing,
go
it's a,
somewhere else.
it's a safe
Yeah.
bike lane, it's even a safe crossing. It's just, it's only unsafe in that one part for everybody involved.
Yeah,
And
and
it's not actually cars making them unsafe, it's the infrastructure and the
construction.
mixing.
Yes.
It's really cyclists saying, hey, this is making pedestrians unsafe,
right,
because I'm coming down this hill.
yeah, the
So
thing.
can they get off for that a little bit of unsafe part?
Because
So
the thing is, so let me just respond, because the thing is. Like me personally, right, I'm willing to walk that segment, right? But I don't think it's realistic to expect every bike there to walk. And there's going to be bad actors, even if you say walk
And the
bikes, that
delivery-
will
the
not
bike
follow
company
that.
does.
And they will hit pedestrians who are expecting everyone to be walking, right? Because this is a protected bike lane and it's like. It's not a safe situation to squeeze these people into. It's the exact same fight we had over the Queensboro Bridge, exactly the same. It's the same right of way with the same problems of putting two directions of bike traffic and two directions of walking traffic in an 8-foot right of way. And so the fact they fixed that and they're allowing this to go on, it just feels like we're having the same fight over and over and over again.
All right, Randy, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I think, aren't we just asking the DOT to follow their existing rules and regulations?
Yes.
Of basically like, if this happens, then do that. And I would be for that, be like, this is the rule. Can you please figure out in your expertise how to follow these rules and regulations and come back to us with some options and going forward. That would be something I would support.
Friendly amendment accepted. If it was one.
All right, and I do want to,
I just want to get to the
I want to
vote.
clear through this one, and if we've had enough discussion.
One brief, I mean, I just think we need to, my question is, when that construction is done, will that change? Because I have a feeling it may make it almost worse, because the wooden structures that narrow the thing further up will not be there anymore, so the bikes are gonna come racing down and all of a
Well, I
sudden.
can't even remember if the pedestrians go to the right of the subway station as they're coming down. Because on the left is the bike lane, on the right is where
Well,
pedestrians
so-
would seem to
so
go.
is
And if
this-
there's a setback of the building, there would be enough space.
So okay, so what I guess I'm asking is this problem going to be resolved by the completion of the construction, and should we not get too,
We don't have to solve the problem, but the problem exists for the next 2 years at least.
Yeah, no, I know, I'm just saying.
No, yeah, and then when that problem is over, then we have the separate problem of, is there enough space now?
Yeah.
In which case, might we ask for one of the car lanes to become a bike lane? Which we're also asking for a bus lane.
Yeah, I think it's,
And then you gotta,
Yeah.
See,
pick your
that's
battles.
what car owners are afraid of,
Yeah,
Bus lane?
because once you give, then they want more.
sure. And then you can see the other side, which is
Using road space more efficiently.
We're safe.
car owners have a lot and they've taken a lot.
They have 2 lanes.
Yeah, so I think the DOT's main concern is also to keep traffic moving, so if there are cars in this area, then they have to move cars through. They all get congested further on down the line, but
I just wanna lay out one more time. In this situation, car drivers their safety is not at risk. It's an inconvenience at worst. I just wanna put that out there.
right, yeah, we talked about the vulnerability.
point well taken, Corey.
Yeah, point well taken. We can I'm glad we're having discussions tonight because these are major issues that exist and we rarely get a chance to talk about them. But we are coming near the end of our meeting, so I want to move on as after we say call the question on that last vote. And then all in favor, as Corey stated last.
What is the question?
For the DOT to work with the property owner to come into their own regulations for this shared space.
Wait, I thought, is that the rumble strip?
We voted already on
Oh,
rumble strips
okay.
specifically.
Okay.
This is for creating a protected bike lane for temporary construction.
Or,
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
All right, all in favor?
Okay, that I can.
Okay.
I missed-
Maury's got, okay. You got your hands up for a comment on that? Okay, everybody's in favor in the room. My hands look.
Appreciate it, Rachel.
All right. Great. One last thing from me, which is important. Tom Matussis talked about Dutch Kills Tributary Park last meeting. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to that. And then he touched on it today. Would simply be asking for the DOT to convert transfer the land, the street to parks to make it a park. And it is already a temporary park.
that the place
It's a
where the car-
handmade park.
Is that the place where the car went into the water?
Yeah.
Yes. And now there's a local group of people who have created a kind of park, a campground in effect there.
All right, Maury and Randy online, are you caught up on that from last month?
Yes.
And Tom did follow up and talk with the people, because I felt it was important to try to, get everybody, because it's an important thing for Blissville. That's why they were proposing. So I'm enthusiastically in support of this. So.
All right, so if we heard Tom's presentation last month and
I'm looking
we
at it
don't have to
now.
discuss it too much, but please look at it.
Yes.
And then he has also mentioned the city's own Walk to a Park initiative, where everybody should be able to walk to a park within a certain amount of distance from their home. And Blissville is seriously lacking in that. Creating this small park that is already a closed street, and a guerrilla park has already risen up on this closed street. Simply creating a real city park, and we can put in language that you talk to the current stakeholders who have created this space and make sure they're part of the process. This would be a letter to our council member and to the DOT, I guess.
Has this been presented to, our Parks Committee? Or whatever,
Yeah.
Environment Committee?
They're asking for, I think they're for it, and they're asking for where we sit.
Cool. I also support it.
Okay,
So I'm
great.
ready to vote whenever.
So there's I'm making a motion that we support this creation of this park by transferring the street from DOT to parks, and to encourage the council member and DOT and parks to make it happen.
Seconded.
Seconded. Discussion. Call the question.
Call a question.
All in favor? All right.
The motion mentions Blissville Civic, or in some respect.
Our motion, I'm referencing this letter from Blissville Civic and local stakeholders.
I think that would be,
Yeah.
they're already working on this.
All right. Perfect, thank you. Any other new business from anybody?
Because this would be when I would have never had someone issues.
Did you have, okay, Omni, we have to send a letter, a resolution
Yeah,
asking for,
so I think we should, ask them to investigate reports of glitches in the Omni system where, free transfers are not being processed correctly. And
And
also,
that's particularly with regard to the seniors and the people with half fare car. I mean, that's one element of it.
one
You
element.
said he was going to check around all the other communities.
yeah,
Yeah, so we are going to send a letter saying that we are very concerned hearing about glitches, double charges, where the system is not working as advertised.
Or that apparent double charges, especially people that are not using the internet. So that's where you want to add the part about putting something.
Right, and we would encourage a display that shows which fare was taken and how much is remaining.
Right, how much is remaining?
Balance.
If
Just
there
typically
if there is a
they're
remaining
balance.
balance.
Yeah, if it's right.
Yeah.
I think that could be complicated just because, for example, if you use your credit card, like I use my credit card for Omni, there's no balance, it's just charging me.
Right, yeah.
So I recognize that could be a little complicated, but I think if someone's using a prepaid card, having the display show how much is left would address a lot of people's fears, right?
So either how much is left or what is actually being debited from your.
Yeah,
That's-
well, okay, I think we can preface it, right, by saying the Metro card showed you how much was charged and if you was prepaid, how much is left. We would ask Omni does the
Oh.
same thing.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
very simple.
All right, so the motion is to ask the MTA to investigate reports of system not working as advertised with double charges and
Triple charges.
triple charges
Or
or lack of
transfer.
free transfer. And what was the thing about the half? Did you want to investigate? something
Well,
about the
I
half?
mean,
Or are you asking for a system change?
I think that we should indicate that this particularly affects often people who have cards that are intentionally limiting the number of uses, and if they're interpreting the number of the transfer as a repeated use or inappropriate use.
Yes, yeah.
I think, if we ask them to investigate the reports, maybe, they're gonna look into like, maybe we can direct them to Janard's office, to connect with these issues,
Yeah.
right? I don't wanna offer them a kind of out, right? To be like, oh, yes, old people are confused, right? Like, that's not the issue, right?
Yeah.
So I think keeping it open-ended and just say, we have reports that the Omni cards are not working as intended. In particular, free transfers aren't, being waived. And we would like them to investigate that. Secondarily, like the Metro card displaying the amount charged and for prepaid card, the amount remaining. We want the Omni display to do the same.
Okay. Is there a second?
So moved.
Okay.
Seconded, all right, discussion on that? Maura, you weren't here when Mercedes talked about it, but she said the problem persists and you said that you've been triple charged?
Oh yeah, I just actually was reading an article about it, and I was like, "Hey, that makes sense," because I noticed all these times when I did transfers and it didn't, and it didn't say like free So I went and looked at my statements, my credit card statements, and I was like, "Oh wow, there were like triple charges. There was all the days where I only took it twice and it's showing up, or once and it's showing up 3 charges."
All right.
Oh, that's interesting. That's contrary to what they claim.
Yeah, so we're gonna send this letter, any more discussion? Call the question,
Full question,
all in favor?
favor.
All right, that is unanimous, we are going to ask for an investigation. Thank you.
Mercedes, one question. Have you reached out to any of the, like transit advocacy groups, like Riders Alliance or anything to talk about this?
I have not. I honestly, have just been getting complaints from constituents. So that's why I just started like following up. And I said, well, I definitely want to let the transportation committees know that this is coming to us and kind of hear what you've been dealing with, or maybe if you've been hearing constituents telling me the same thing. So I have not reached out to any of the advocacy groups.
Yeah, I would recommend it because they have, outreach networks. They probably are able to find more stories and elevate the profile of this issue. That'd be my recommendation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Tricia,
Thank you.
before you go,
One last thing, guys, if I may. Last week we talked about asking the DOT for faster repaving of streets because it was a major issue. Do we want to take a quick vote on that?
Yes.
All right, so a motion to send a letter to DOT to request that when streets.
To better
say it?
coordinate the milling, paving and striping schedules.
2 months ago, when Roz and I were complaining about Woodside Avenue. 3 days later, it was done,
It's not striped yet,
but at least you could ride on it.
but.
yeah, well, yeah.
The
Why
road
always
times
it
are
takes a
fast.
month to cure
It
it?
wasn't bumping on
We wait to come back to stripes.
So
Yeah,
Do we, I mean,
Oh.
but from milling to repaving.
the big issue with striping is that for a bike lane, if it's not painted again, the bike lane's gone. And then the safety infrastructure is gone.
Crosswalks.
So until,
Yeah, that's it.
especially crosswalks, right? So until it gets striped, it's not done, it's not safe. cars drive actually faster because
Yeah.
there's no
Oh,
marking.
yeah.
Right?
Okay, so restate the motion so we can go.
Yeah, well, I was in the middle of my motion, but, I,
The answer is yes, I'm going.
No, hold on, let's do this for real.
yes, I'll do it super quick. Yeah, I'll do it super quick. So, the motion, the send a letter requesting that DOT better coordinate milling, paving, and striping work to happen in quick succession, rather than waiting months in between this work.
Seconded. All right, all in favor, discussion?
No.
Call the
No?
question.
Favor?
Yes,
All right, great.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to end the meeting?
most
Yes.
Seconded, all in favor?
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Or charge the mouse so you get to end the meeting.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care.